Reginald F. Lewis, businessman, entrepreneur, attorney, philanthropist, Harvard lawman, are just some of the descriptive words to describe this iconic figure's life work. Lewis was born on December 7th, 1942. His parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts always encouraged Lewis to be. Reginald's grandmother would teach him the importance of savings, even cutting out the peeling in strips of the bottom of a tin can and nailing it to the floor of a closet to protect his savings.
He was ever thinking, ever planning, ever vigilant on getting the job done.
Driven, okay? Intense, loving, tender, and family was very important.
In Baltimore, he attended the famed Paul Laurence Dunbar High School, known for producing stellar athletes. Lewis was no different. He excelled in football at Dunbar High School and later earned a scholarship to Virginia State University.
My father never stopped moving forward. No matter what fate threw in his way, whether that was racial stereotypes that would try and hamper him in his business, racial bias and prejudice, no matter what the world threw him, he didn't let it stop him.
In 1965, the Rockefeller Foundation funded a summer program at Harvard Law School to introduce a select number of black students to legal studies. Reginald lobbied for his acceptance into the program and also got in. He made such an impression that Lewis was invited to attend Harvard Law School that fall. The only person in the 148-year school history to be admitted before applying. During his third year at Harvard Law School, Lewis discovered the direction his career would take.
Never saw so many law enforcement people carrying guns, really waiting out there on the tarmac when the plane let down. So when the plane landed, everybody rushed off the plane, including the pilots and the flight attendants, and left Reggie and I on the plane. We said a prayer, and he said, "I'm your lawyer. I will go first." You know what Mr. Lewis did as we got down the ground? The sheriff was reaching for me. Mr. Lewis stood in the way and said, "Oh no, let me see your identification."
I was able to negotiate with the Attorney General of the state of North Carolina to allow the church to post the bond with interest-bearing securities as opposed to putting up a pure cash bond. And the interest earned from the securities actually paid for the litigation for a year. So I was pretty proud of that. And
recruited to the top New York law firm Paul, Weiss, Wharton, and Garrison LLP immediately after law school, Lewis left to start his own firm just after 2 years with Paul, Weiss, Rifkin, Wharton, and Garrison LLP. After 15 years as a corporate attorney for his own firm, Lewis moved to the other side of the table by creating TLC Group, LP, a venture capital firm.
He had a lot of things that he had to overcome. But that's why he loved that poem by Langston Hughes, "Don't sit down and cry."
Life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards torn up. But all of the time, I's been a climbing on, and reaching landings, and turning corners. And sometimes in the dark, where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps, 'cause you find it's kinda hard. For I's still going, honey. I's still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair.
You just got to keep on climbing. I always say you put your spikes in your shoes. And when you dig in that mountain, ain't nobody going to knock you down, child. You just keep on climbing, and you just keep on going, no matter what. And that's what happened.
Lewis was able to accomplish so much during his 50 years on Earth. His legacy lives on in many ways. In Baltimore, the Reginald F. Lewis School of Business and Law High School. At Virginia State University, the Reginald F. Lewis School of Business and the Reginald F. Lewis Museum located in downtown Baltimore. Reginald F. Lewis passed on January 19th, 1993.
Though fate threw early death his way, his life was as full as that of someone who lived twice his age.
you.